How the hell is NASCAR going to fix this amazing debacle with motorsport games and finally put out a playable NASCAR console game? We're going to talk about it today on Shifting Gears. I'm Alan Bailey, and before Motorsport Games puts out another NASCAR Heat 5 copy and paste on the Switch and calls it a brand new game, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you don't miss a video, and make sure that you log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com so that you can keep up with the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. So news broke finally that the NASCAR 2023 game has been not only canceled, but it never made it out of the design phase over at Motorsport Games. Apparently there was less than 3 people working on it full time, and they were being pulled left and right on other projects to the point where they never actually thought themselves that the game was going to make it to market and that we were simply going to get another NASCAR Heat 5 DLC, which, oh by the way, was also canceled by Motorsport Games. They simply just didn't publicly acknowledge it and continued to lie to the general public and to NASCAR, saying that yes, it's coming, we promise, but never had anybody actually working on it past November 2022. The fourth quarter and full 2022 financial results that Motorsport Games was required to release to its investors, to the media, and to its employees finally publicly acknowledged the fact that they lost $36.8 million in 2022, $33.7 million in 2021, for a staggering $70.5 million lost over the course of 2 years. Are you kidding me? This company is burning through cash like there's no tomorrow, and they're simply asking for more of it from investors and from new outside investment companies. Who the hell in their right mind is going to give anybody in this company another penny? This company has only officially put out 4 games, and one of them was legitimately a copy and paste in 2020 with NASCAR Heat 5, the only actual ground-up rebuild original game that they actually released in 2021, NASCAR 21 Ignition, was a complete failure with the fans, with critics, and with the sales numbers. They released NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition Plus on the Nintendo Switch in November of 21, which was also a huge failure. And then they released NASCAR Rivals in 2022, also huge financial loss to them. This company literally can't do anything right. They have no passion for motorsports, they have no passion for gaming at all, nor does it seem like they know what the hell they're doing. Yet they continue to ask for money and time to develop products that they have proven time and time again they simply don't know how to develop. Yeah, this is where our money's going. Yeah, this is a good investment. Admittingly, NASCAR, IndyCar, the BBC, and 24 Hours of Le Mans all put their eggs in the wrong basket with this one, and it's not their fault. Motorsport Games sold them a lie, and unfortunately they bought into it. And now NASCAR specifically is under contract with Motorsport Games until 2029. That means we realistically probably won't see a new NASCAR game, or at least a good one, for at least 7 years, if not longer. So realistically, how long is it going to take for Motorsport Games to drop the ball completely and a new gaming developer to come in and actually produce a playable game, let alone a good game? The last time this happened was back in 2008. EA released NASCAR 2009 in June of 2008, and that was the last game that EA ever did for NASCAR. Then Technics picked up the contract, and they released NASCAR the Game 2011 in March of 2011. So expect at least a 3-year gap from Motorsport Games putting out their final product and that contract ending to a brand new contract starting with someone else. Now, where's this contract going to go? A lot of people are calling for EA to come back. And honestly, I don't think Electronic Arts actually has an interest or a desire in NASCAR anymore. They kind of dropped NASCAR, and ever since they picked up Codemasters and the F1 game series, they seem pretty content on their motorsports content. So where does that realistically leave us? Monster Games and iRacing. They're owned by the same company, and frankly, they've actually done some pretty good work the last couple of years. Ever since Monster Games was purchased out by iRacing a few years ago, iRacing's actually pumped a lot more money into the company, and they've actually produced some pretty darn good racing games. Think about it. Monster Games, which actually put out Dirt to Daytona back in the day, and iRacing's knowledge of stock cars in NASCAR, plus their resources with all of their track scans and some of their actual items from iRacing migrating over to console systems. No, it's not as simple as copy-paste, we're good to go, but they actually have a good ground base, and iRacing has actually proven that they do have passionate people working over there, and you've got NASCAR Jesus with Dale Earnhardt Jr. over there as well, who frankly is probably going to lead the push for iRacing and Monster Games to take over the contract from Motorsport Games whenever Motorsport Games finally drops the ball entirely and breaks the contract. But it begs the question, how do we prevent this from happening in the future? One developer grasping tightly to the license of a specific motorsports like NASCAR, like IndyCar, and dropping the ball so dramatically. Well, I think it's time to get rid of exclusive right deals, meaning no longer does one game developer get to develop just the NASCAR games. NASCAR needs to split it up and have multiple companies developing multiple games at the same time and bringing them to market so that it creates competition within the gaming developing sphere and produces multiple products so that fans can literally pick and choose which games that they prefer. Let's go back over 20 years in NASCAR gaming history. Let's look and see what happened in late 2021. November 2021, we saw the release of NASCAR Heat 2002 from Monster Games. Pretty okay game, not the best, not the worst. Then, a few months later, in February 2002, we saw the release of NASCAR Racing 2002 season, the prequel to what would be one of the greatest sims of all time from Papyrus, which would later become iRacing. Then, September 2002, NASCAR Thunder 2003 was released from EA. Yeah, one of the GOATs. Then, just 2 months later, November 2002, NASCAR Dirt to Daytona from Monster Games hit the shelves. So, over the course of a single 12-month span, we saw 4 NASCAR games released from 3 different companies. I think that this is the key to creating consistently good NASCAR games. Because shortly after this, you had kids picking up these games and would later become NASCAR fans. Creating a good console game for the younger generation is the key to fostering younger fans for your sport. NASCAR knows this. I personally pointed this out, and they unanimously agreed with me and said that they do have a plan in process. They cannot share that plan with me, nor can I share it with you, because, frankly, they're still getting lawyers involved to try to solve this problem. Now, are we going to hear about this? I don't necessarily think so, but I do think that NASCAR is trying to move back to a time when they did have multiple games on the market at the same time. But I want to hear what you have to say. What do you think about the latest Motorsport Games debacle, NASCAR and IndyCar's responses, and overall the state of console gaming for NASCAR and IndyCar? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, make sure you mash that subscribe button so that you can come on back for the next video. And make sure that you check out my social media accounts at HeyAlanBailey. Thank you so much for watching. For Shifting Gears, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track.